Hey BodCon Squad, I'm Rachel K. Grimm, your resident hype girl and host of the BodPod podcast, and I am so excited that you're here today because I'm really thrilled about this episode. In fact, when I was planning this episode to just sit and chat with you, well, actually stand, but to chat with you, I got so excited, not just for you to listen, but also for me, and you're going to understand why as we get into it. But before we dive in, I do want us to look back at one of the first episodes that we shared in 2025. You could even look at some of our even earlier episodes. We've talked about this before, and that is our vision boards. We are well into the year, and I've been seeing a lot of content online talking about how we're over halfway into the year, and those goals that we didn't hit, that we're not on track with, we need to lock in and we need to go after it. And listen, you know that I am a goal-getting girl, and I believe that we are so capable of bringing all of our dreams to life when we have the confidence, the community around us, and the resources to do so. As much as I love that rhetoric, I also don't like it because it really focuses on what we haven't done. And I feel like this is not just something we do with our vision boards, but this is something we do in our lives. We every year get to the end of the year, or we look at our birthday and we're like, I haven't done this, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, right? I haven't saved this much money, I haven't bought the house, I haven't had the kids, I haven't gotten married, I haven't found the person, I don't like my career, whatever, right? There's so many of these things that we define as very big that we will add up and be really disappointed in ourselves for not reaching. But then there are also the goals that we set for ourselves year after year when it comes to our resolutions, our vision boards, and we can say, oh, well, I said I was going to do this and I didn't even touch it, or I said I was going to do this and I only got halfway there. And yes, okay, like I said, we got to lock in and go after those goals. But what if we flip that? What if we do a 180 and we say, okay, sure, I didn't do this, or I only did this halfway, but what about that other half? In fact, I think that that's something really important to think about when we're just halfway or a little over halfway through the year. We still have time left. And newsflash, even though they might be goals for the year 2025, you still have time, right? And I don't mean that to say let's slack and like not work on them. No, we want to continue going after the things that we dream. But okay, I don't think we need to be so hard on ourselves. And I think the way that we start with not being so hard on ourselves is to reflect and see how far we've come and how much closer we are to achieving those goals. Before we talk any further, I do want to let you know that the latter half of this episode is going to be a vlog from when I was at Create Cultivate. I don't know if you remember our interview with Marina Middleton, the CEO of Create Cultivate, but when we had that interview, I knew that it was for more of a reason than having the interview and sharing it. I knew that it meant something more that aligned with my goals for this year, and you're going to just be so excited and just erupt with joy when we get to that part of the episode. But I just want to let you know that that is upcoming later on in this episode. So if you are just listening to the audio, I would highly recommend that you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the BodCon, where you can see all of this play out visually as well. But for those of you who are already watching on YouTube, I am so glad you're here. Please make sure you like this episode. Leave us comments about those goals that you are going after continually in this year. Let us know what's been on your vision board that you've achieved as well. To keep this story going, I went to grab my vision board. I don't know if you remember, but I did my vision board in two pieces this year, my professional and personal, because I felt it was really important to find a better division between my personal and professional life, and I thought the vision board was very representative of that. If you have your vision board handy, whether you have a picture of it on your phone or you physically have it in front of you, I would definitely challenge you to get yours out and take a look at it. Let's look at what we've achieved and what we're still going after in this year. Some things I really want to point out to you on my vision board start with my professional vision board. I put these designer brands down here on my vision board because to me, they represented working with even more luxury brands, really tapping into that space. I had done so a little bit before as a creator prior to 2025, but I knew I really, really wanted to tap in. And spoiler alert, I have really, really, really tapped in. One of the reasons I particularly want to highlight this as one of my goals that I feel I've already achieved in 2025, but I'm going after even further is that it was really like a long game. It was a long form manifestation. I put it on my vision board and I knew I wanted it, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to get there. But what I did was I started taking small steps. I started connecting further with those brands by posting more about them online, whether it was the actual bag that I was carrying or the lipstick I was using. I was already acting as the girl who does that. It's not a fake it till you make it, but it's an act as the version of yourself that you want to be. And that's what I started doing with those brands. Long story short, I ended up in a room at an influencer event talking to someone who I had no idea what they did. I had no idea that they were aligned with a luxury brand, but I was just myself. I was kind. I put out there my goals and dreams, which I think is very important when we're talking about our vision boards. Sure, we don't want to be like spouting them off constantly and to everyone, but in the right spaces, around the right community. It's so important to share the things that we're going after. And I shared that I'm looking to further my relationships with luxury clients. After the event, I follow up with this person and they let me know they're actually the head of influencer marketing at a luxury designer brand. And like I said, I had no idea. I was just myself. I put myself out there and I confidently spoke on my goals and the things I'm going after. And this person found a way to make it happen for me. Since then, this brand has sent me multiple items and has even invited me to attend events of theirs. So even though I want to do more with the brand, I don't want it to stop there. I think we can give that a little check mark. I wanted to share that story with you first before really diving into the Create and Cultivate story, because again, I think that's such a great representation of you never know who you're talking to and who is inspired by you speaking your goals out loud. So let's rewind to when Marina Middleton was on the BodPod podcast. It's been one of our goals in 2025 to have on even more confidence boosting, creative people who are creating confidence beyond body. And Create and Cultivate is absolutely doing that in the realm of career, entrepreneurship, and creativity. They truly are the largest festival and networking opportunity for women in business. And it's also run by women in business. As I shared in that episode with Marina, I've been following for over a decade. It's been an inspiration in my work for years and years and has been a place I've continually gone back to for community. And that is why at the BodCon, it felt so necessary to have Marina on the podcast, to have her share how she got to where she is. In this episode, Marina definitely talked about putting herself out there, speaking her goals and her dreams out loud, even when she felt like it wasn't necessarily achievable. Sounds a lot like that story I just told you, right? Well, in that episode, Marina also said, what can we do to get your community present at the Create and Cultivate Festival? I've always wanted to attend, but it was in LA and I didn't know how it was going to happen. I had this interview with Marina in May, but even before that, back at the end of February into March, I had started talking to my best friends about some of my goals out loud. I said, I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling drawn to California, specifically LA. I had been to LA before and I liked it, but I was never like, oh, I have to be there. But for some reason, there was something inside of me that was saying, Rachel, you need to go back to LA. So I started sharing this with my friends, and I actually put a little beachside moment that to me was representative of California on my vision board, and I knew it needed to happen. It was actually a goal and a dream that kept me going through the cold, gray months in New York. Also, prior to this interview with Marina, I had done a trip with one of my best girlfriends to Miami, and during that trip, I said, I'm going to be in LA this summer in July. I don't know why. I don't know what for, but I can feel it. I can feel that I'm going to be there. This is a friend who is also very much into manifesting our dreams, and so she remembered me saying that. So let's go back to May when I have this interview with Marina, and she says, how can we get you to the Create and Cultivate Conference? It's in July. It's July 19th and 20th, and it would be wonderful to have you there. I had full body chills when she said this to me. One, because the invite was just lovely and incredible, but two, because the timeline aligned so much with this dream that I had been having about seeing myself in LA. Like I said, I didn't know what it was going to be for, but how awesome that it was for something so powerful, something so impactful. And that's exactly what the event was. I would say attending Create and Cultivate allowed me to check even more items off my vision board. For instance, revealing a new exciting chapter. It really was something that I had dreamed about doing for so long and was this new exciting experience for me. It really allowed me to learn from other confidence boosting women. As someone who's continually sharing confidence boosting resources, sometimes I feel like I'm just on one side and I don't get to consume those resources so much. And this really gave me the opportunity to consume those. It truly filled my cup to be able to come back here and share even more with you. Like I said, at the end of this episode, I have a great video for you that really encompasses the whole Create and Cultivate weekend that was so huge and inspiring and confidence boosting for me. I met so many incredible women that I'm excited to have on for future episodes with you. So again, make sure that you're subscribed to our channel, both here and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you see when we drop those episodes. And it was fun. It was incredible to be in community with women who, like I've said so many times before, have a similar vision and want to see each other be better and want to provide each other opportunity. So to bring it full circle, I know we may not have crossed off everything on our list. And I know we need to lock in to get to where we want to be by the end of 2025 and heading into 2026. But while we're locking in, let's not forget to look back at these vision boards and be proud of ourselves for what we've brought to life. It's pretty incredible that we can take these flat moments and bring them to life and make them 3D experiences. I'm not going to lie, I have some pretty great ones still left on my vision board, and I can't wait to check in with you at the end of this year and let you know how far I've come. And I want to know how far you've come, so please in the comments, once again, let us know what you've achieved so far in 2025 and what you're going after for the end of the year. I'll say it again, you never know who's listening, you'll never know who's watching and reading. So put those goals out there and let's see what we can bring to life. Okay, without further ado, I want to dive into this little baby Create and Cultivate recap for you. You're going to see conversations with women who are absolutely change making. You're going to see a performance by Jochi herself. You're going to see women connecting in a beautiful, beautiful space. And I really hope this is a confidence boost you need to get you to where you want to be.
I feel it. The ambitious, the go-getters, Jacqueline Johnson and Marina Middleton. This is unbelievable.
But she always reminds me of who I am, not any of the perceptions, or anything that people have projected on me or the beliefs that I've ended up curating in my own mind. But She reminds me of who I truly am at the core and my abilities, and that I'm already fully equipped.
Amen.
Push to TikTok, and one, not only you're at a table, you're there for a reason. You're there hopefully from hard work and the relationships that you've built and everything that you've accomplished. We need to advocate for ourselves so much more, in particular women and women of color and those underrepresented communities. But stop second guessing yourself and take the risks, whether they're calculated or you just jump. And sometimes you don't want to show up. You don't feel like showing up, but you do it. And I think that authenticity is really for Luminary 6 years in, not just for me, but everyone that's part of the community. That's how we show up every day.
In a way, right? You do everything through that. It's very plug and play. You don't need a million tools.
Really knowing their pain points, what they wake up in the morning and struggle with. If you can get to that level of knowing your people, it doesn't matter whether you are launching a marketing platform like Flowdesk or Frenchie. It doesn't matter. If you know your people, you know how to build a brand that you do.
It's been definitely a really big learning process. I feel like as someone who has loved fragrance and who has appreciated it, I definitely learned a lot about fragrance houses and how all of the intricacies work with it. It's very, just with the whole business, I think. My mom is a CEO, so I feel like I kind of have learned a lot from her though.